Well, that's not good. We've got water pouring all out from under here yet again. This was not in the full-time RV life brochure. Good morning, everybody. Guess what? I have another water leak. Yay! I just can't seem to win with this water. Or let me show you what happened. Came out of the bathroom and there was water all down here on the floor, and I said to myself, that must be the water pump leaking again, because mysteriously it just stopped but then started leaking, or so I thought. So I'm gonna end up just replacing this entire water pump. But when I was looking at it, I found water dripping from one of the pipes. The water pump is still leaking. I'm not even gonna worry about it anymore, so I'm just gonna replace that water pump. But if you can see that where that blue water line connects to the white one, that 90-degree elbow is dripping. So I'm gonna have to replace that. We're gonna find a Home Depot or a Lowe's somewhere around here in Blue Ridge, and we're gonna replace that. At least we're gonna try. If you are thinking about going a full-time and are not handy, I highly suggest that you get handy quickly. All of these little problems that pop up with any camper is going to cost you an arm and a leg. If every time you have a problem, you need to call somebody out. I will take you along with me on this. We're going to have to remove that pipe and then head to Home Depot. There's a Home Depot right down the road. We're going to replace that flexible line. You're not supposed to use those pinch clamps on that flexible hose, because that thing will expand and contract, and as it does over time, you start getting leaks by that pinch clamp. So we're going to get rid of that flexible line and we're going to put just regular PEX line in. Okay, quick costume change. I needed to shower before we start all of this work, but the first thing that we have to do now is make sure we have no more water. So I'm turning off the water pump. I'm not connected to the city water. It was below freezing last night, so they made us all disconnect, and I don't have a heated hose anyway. Releasing the pressure out of the lines. This should be relatively easy. This is just unscrew this here, and then I am gonna cut that blue PEX line right there. I actually noticed this leak last night, so I did a quick repair, if you will, just to get me through the night. I don't know if you noticed down there, that connection, that was actually leaking last night as well. That is a shark bite connection, and you are not supposed to use shark bite connections on that white flexible hose. This stuff right here, I had 2 leaks. I saw the water that was all the way across, you know, into the kitchen from here. The fitting at the pump was leaking, and when I got down here to look, there was a big puddle underneath leaking at that 90. It was leaking there at that 90, so I cut that 90 off, put a shark bite on there just to get me through. And then this here is leaking, so I threw a hose clamp on here. I mean, it was squirting out. I did put a hose clamp on here, and it slowed it down a little bit, but it's still leaking. So we're gonna take this whole white flexible hose out. I'm just gonna unscrew it there. This is a tool for cutting PEX line, and I'm just gonna cut it right on the side of that shark bite right there. So let me do that, and then I will show you what my plan is. That was really easy to do. So where we're gonna replace this whole thing, you can actually even tell it looks a little bulged. So we're gonna replace this whole line with PEX. We're going to replace this 90. I'm going to have to get a pinch clamp tool. I don't have one. Unless I can find a 90-degree here, 1/2 inch that will be a shark bite, then I might get that one. And then we're going to get a new shark bite for the end down here. We have returned from the Home Depot, and as you can see, I have some new tools. Here is the PEX line that I got. This is 1/2 inch. It was a 5-foot section. We got a new 90-degree shark bite connector, a 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch female swivel elbow. That is to replace this plastic piece that goes onto the water pump. I did get brass. As these things fail, I'm going to try and replace all of this plastic crap with brass. A PEX pinch clamp removal tool, although I don't need this right now. I'm going to have it because I'm sure I'm going to need it later on. It was actually on sale. It was only 20 bucks, so that's why I got it. And I did get a one-hand PEX pinch clamp tool, so we can put these pinch clamps back on here when I get it done. I do have a tool that you can use for the slip rings for the PEX. I forget what they're called off the top of my head, but the little ring that you can put on and then clamp it down. I don't know where it is right now. I know it's in the front bay, but I can't find it. The pinch clamp tool was on sale as well, so I got it. It seems that water problems are going to be my thing in this camper, so I'm just going to have the tools on hand to hopefully fix this stuff. I'm also going to look into getting some more PEX tubing to have on hand and a bunch of fittings just to keep, you know, they sell those contractor packs at Home Depot. They're not that expensive. And if this happens again at 2 o'clock in the morning or whenever, you know, at least I could deal with it then. I cut a little tiny piece of the PVC pipe just so I could practice, because I've never used these before, but it's actually pretty easy. You just slip this ring on, and then you get these guys in that gap right there, and you just squeeze down the lever here until the light turns blue, and then you know you're done. I cut a piece of the PEX tubing here so it will fit between the water pump and the pipe that I had to cut. So now we're gonna slip on our pinch clamp here and the new fitting, get it nice and tight in here, and then I'm gonna make this easy, so I'm gonna put the pinch part here at the back, about right there. I don't know if I'm gonna get to show you this on camera, but I will try. It's kind of hard to do here. And then we're gonna take this guy and stick it in there like that and start clamping, and it kind of grabs, and then I'm gonna just hold on to it until you see the blue light there come on. There's the blue light. So now we know that the connection is, I guess, torqued is the only thing I can think of. And then you hit this release. Oh yeah, that's really nice. That tool is pretty fun. I like it. If you've never used these shark bites before, I love these things. See those little teeth right around the edge there? All you do is slip this guy in here until it clicks, and then the teeth in there actually kind of dig into the PEX tubing here. I love it. But what I want to do first is I'm going to hook this up to the water pump in there, so that way we can kind of feed which way the line has to go, and then before connecting this. So let's go do that. I've got you above me here, so I'm hoping that you can see what I'm doing. But the pump is not secured to the floor. I actually had never screwed it back in after I was trying to figure out where the leaks are coming from. And I'm really hoping that it was this thing leaking this whole time and kind of like dripping down here and going under, which made me think that the pump was leaking. And we're gonna feed this guy down like it was. The good thing with PEX is it's bendy, so you don't want to bend it too much so that it like crimps. But now I know why they use this stuff, because it's easy. Well, you know what, sometimes easy shouldn't be your first go at it. And this just screws on. Don't want to over tighten it, because you know that piece is plastic, and actually I have too much pipe in here, so I'm going to actually cut a little bit more of it, because I'm going to have to screw this pipe back in. This is why I didn't put the shark bite on yet, but we will do is put it on the bottom one. I apologize if you can't see. There, and it clicked. And I'm actually going to take this guy back off. I think this is going to be easier. And then we're going to put this on down here. There, and it clicked right in. And then I'm going to reroute this pipe here to make it a little bit easier. Well, now I know why they use that flexible line. But man, you just can't use those crimps on there. And then I can just move this. I don't really care where that pump is. Let's go turn it on and see if it leaks. Well, let me turn some faucets on. I'm not seeing anything leaking. Nothing dripping down in the bay. I'm gonna call that a win. I'm gonna leave that uncovered for the rest of the day today and probably tonight as well. Just to keep an eye on it to make sure that it's not leaking anymore, because everything, this whole, there was water all under there. It came all the way across. It was all over here. So now I'm worried that that wood is gonna swell. I dried it up as fast as I can. I've got the heat on in here. It's 30 degrees. So hopefully it'll be okay. If anything starts to leak, I will come back at the end of this video and let you know if it started leaking or not, but hopefully that took care of it. It has been a few days since my repairs, and although this is not leaking and that down there is not leaking, the pump itself is still leaking. There's water here and all over there, but nothing like it used to be. So I am gonna go back to my original plan and replace this pump as soon as I get to a place that I can either purchase one or have one shipped. Full-time RV life, you're gonna have problems no matter what, even part-time RV. Just in RV in general, you are gonna run into problems every once in a while. I would highly suggest, if you are not handy, get handy. Get some of these tools, at least a basic set of tools. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. That's how I learned a lot. Thankfully, my father also taught me a lot growing up. Get yourself some, you know, a small section of PVC pipe and a couple cheap fittings and practice with it. Just give it a try. You can do it. I know you can. It's really not that hard to do. I think the hardest part is walking around Home Depot and not buying all the stuff that you see that you think, ooh, I need that. If you like this video, I would really appreciate it if you would boop that like button down below. And while you're down there booping that like button, if you just go over a little bit, go ahead and boop that subscribe button as well. Become a member of the Travel Paws RV Pack. Clearly, I'm going to be doing a lot of repair videos probably throughout the years. And we would love to have you as a part of our journey. Who doesn't want to look at Mr. Rupert and Ms. May? So until the next video, I hope your pipes don't leak. Safe travels. I'll see you next time.